I'm gonna give you, my little marshmallows, some hints, tips, tricks, hacks to misuse a often misused word on how to take great photos in a third world developing country. And I do this because, not that I think that I know everything there is to know about photography, but simply I learned a lot through trial and error. And if you're not a photographer, don't worry, you'll still find these things remarkably entertaining. The first thing is, if you are in a humid climate, so we're talking like a tropical jungle type climate, when you are indoors and it's air conditioned or slightly cooler than the outside, when you take your camera equipment outside, it immediately fogs up because the glass is cold and you're going out into a warm environment. You know, you've experienced condensation before. Do not wipe the moisture off of the lens, or else it'll just smear things around. Just let it acclimate, and eventually give it 5 minutes, and that water will just evaporate on its own. Okay, so also a good hint for that, always keep your camera equipment in a bag, because you could be on a canoe, in the water, going over water, in a taxi cab, and the taxi cab falls through the bridge and you get swept away in the river. No, that didn't happen to us. Although I did see a really serious accident that, I don't want to think about that. So the camera, all right, put it in a Ziploc bag and let it acclimate within the bag itself. That will prevent a lot of the moisture from reaching it as your camera equipment becomes the same temperature as the outside. Another hint is take pictures of people. Now let me preface that, because some people are like, oh, you're going to exploit the poor people of Africa, and how dare you? You don't have to be rude about taking photos of people. 90% of the time, when I asked someone, may I take your picture, they said, yes, you may. And which is funny, because for some reason, at least in Sierra Leone, they don't smile when you take their photo. I mean, they're very bright, happy people, and they're all just, smiling and having a great time. And then you ask to take their picture, and they say, yes, and then they do this. Until you take their picture, and then they go back to smiling. It's like, just act normal. Come on. But still, I still got some very organic, natural photos. Not all of them were posed. So ask people and just get to know them. If you don't ask them, they will get mad at you. Like, what are you doing taking my picture? Are you with the FBI? Wow. That's another thing. When you have camera equipment in a third world country, especially if you're like in the capital where there are lots of police or soldiers all around you, be very mindful of government facilities. If you're wearing a camera, even if you're not taking photos, if you're around like, for example, the Presidential Palace in Freetown, you will get detained by soldiers. Yeah, because they see a really expensive camera around your neck and they're like, hey, if we stop them, we could probably take that camera. So be mindful. Don't take photos of soldiers unless you ask their permission. Another thing is, when you are traveling through a very crowded third world country, or just developing nation, doesn't have to be third world, just developing. If you want good photos, don't take photos outside your car window. It will look like you took photos outside of your car window. They never turn out. Out of the hundreds of photos, if not thousands of photos I took, many of them turned out, but the ones that did not were the ones that I took out of a moving vehicle, or even if the vehicle was parked. It was just looked horrible. Even when I had a telephoto on and I could like get in on people's faces and stuff, and just which, by the way, it's a little hard to ask for permission when you have a telephoto lens on. Excuse me, do you mind if I... Oh, they're gone. But anyway, don't take it outside of a moving vehicle. Just wait until you get out. It'll be awkward, yes, because you're actually there and it's obvious that you're taking photos, but the pictures will be so much better, infinitely better. Wow. So yeah, people take photos of the local people. That's what really, I think, encapsulates a culture best, is the people. So there you go. Lastly, my last hint for you, if you have a photographer's mind or just video, when you're done taking a photo, show the person the photo, unless it's just in passing and you don't have a chance to. But odds are they'll know that you took the photo, and even if you asked permission, they may feel sort of kind of weird that you took their photo. And if you have a digital camera, which I'm sure none of you actually have a film camera at the viewing of this video, but show the people your photo. Just put it on playback, quickly show them. If they're kids, they will love it. And if they're adults, they may be frowning for a little bit, but once they see their face and your awesome photo that you took, they will just lighten up. That will just make their day. They will love you. They may even ask if you will take more photos of more people or more interesting things. Like, oh, hey, you take photos. I'm pirating 5,000 DVDs in my back room back here using this little process. Come on back, I'll show you the whole setup. Not kidding, that actually happened. And it was really, really interesting. Also very illegal, but you know, I wasn't with the authorities. That wasn't my job at that point. But interesting things open up when you engage with the people. So when you're taking photos, don't try to sneak around. Engage. You know, be loving. So yeah, go and shoot people. Wait,